wondering who it could be that would betray him. And they all thought within themselves that it would not be them. And one of the things that we look at and we know, and I can tell you from the youngest baby in here, even down to my unborn grandchild, I can tell you that we all have an expiration date. You will expire from this planet. To expire means to take your last breath, to die. We all have an expiration date. We are all going to expire from this world. And it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter what your family's name is. It doesn't matter how much you have grown, how much you know. It doesn't matter the places that you go, the education that you have, you will expire. And one of the things that we are familiar with, because all of our products in which we buy has on it an expiration date. It has an actual date in which it was actually made or when it was actually processed to be canned or to be set aside, but it has an expiration date. And if you notice when you look into your cupboard that there are different items that are there that are perhaps even some that are expired from the date in which they have given the rights for, as far as legal rights for it to be used. And some of us, we have a tendency to use past those deadlines and past those dates. In fact, there are some companies, because we are a church, and they get close, food products get close to expiration dates, and they want to make sure that they're used. They call the church and they ask if it be okay that we bring some of those items over to the church whereby you can pass them on to the community, that they can be used before the expiration date. Now, you and I both know that there are some things that are inside of those containers that last longer than the expiration date. But the date itself is there to protect the individual who did the packaging or the canning of that particular product, to make sure that you use it in a time in which they say that it's good, whereby you won't come back at some point and accuse them of packaging something that wasn't good. And then the next thing is I'm a part of the United States military, and because of that, I had the opportunity to eat what they called back in those days sea ration. Now, sea ration was something that they didn't at that time care a whole lot about the actual date, because we ate some food that had been canned and had been packaged for a long period of time. And guess what? I'm still here. And so the thing that we have is we are familiar with things expiring, and we are familiar with dates running out. In fact, when I purchased some license, because I like to fish, and when I leave off of away from my home and I go fishing in other states or even in other places here in Indiana, I must have a license, and that license have a expiration date on it. And what happens is I can purchase that license and I can fish, if I buy it for this particular state, I can fish in this particular state legally, as long as I'm fishing within the rim or the perimeter of that expiration date. But it does expire. And then it gives us the opportunity to have what we call a driver's license. And then that driver's license, there is a clause or a date there that tells you that this is a license that gives you the permission to drive here in the state of Indiana, those who live in Indiana, or whichever state that you're from this particular period of time until this particular period of time, and then you have to get your license renewed because it has an expiration date. And what I found is, because I do live here, that and a lot of the individuals whom I meet that are from the Indianapolis and Indiana area, and this is not for a news flash for the police to start getting after some of y'all, but a lot of you all don't pay a whole lot of attention to that expiration date. And so we illegally drive, even though our license say they are expired. On our vehicles, there's a plate that in Indiana that's on the back of your vehicle. And some states have it back and front. And on that particular vehicle that we have, our vehicle that we have in Indiana, there's a expiration date, a time in which you must get a sticker to put on the existing plate, or it's a time when you get another plate, but it has an expiration date. So y'all see where I'm going there? There's a expiration date, and we're pretty familiar that things on this earth and things here in this earth are things that are part of this earth. They're not meant to last forever because they expire. Now, the thing that I want to understand is that down to my unborn grandchild that's still not born, that child has an expiration date. And here's the thing I want you to understand is that just because it's a child does not mean that its expiration date is going to be longer than yours. Because, see, the thing I want to understand is some of us have a real long shelf life. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Come on, y'all. Work with me. I'm going somewhere. Some of us have a longer shelf life than others. There are those that are part of, at least in my family, where they have expired and they're a lot younger than I am. And then there are those who have expired who are a lot older than I am. And so what that tells me is that what time and when the expiration date is in your life is not determined by you. In fact, if I had a choice, there would be some who have gone on before me. If I could have helped them by trading places, I would have. But that choice is not mine. And I want you to understand, look within yourself, and I want to encourage you with that choice is not yours. You have an expiration date, and you can't change that expiration date with someone else. You have to make sure that during the time in which you are here, and there are some sermons that say it's between the dash, between the time in which you're born and between the time that you expire, that you meet somebody. Now, I want to introduce you to this person that I want you to meet today. That person that I want you to meet today is none other than our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Out of all the people that you meet in your lifetime, the one person that you need to meet in between the time that you're born and the time that you die is Jesus Christ. Now, one of the things I want to understand is you've heard me talk about their expiring. You've heard me talk about that your date was going to run out. But here's one thing I want to understand is I know a man, watch this. If you can meet him in between your beginning and your ending, he will give you a life renewal plan. And one thing I want to understand is that there are some things in life that you just need. And watch this. You think that you need food. You think that you need clothing. I want you to understand something. You don't really need food. If you want to exist on this side, it's good to have it, but you don't really need it. You don't really need clothing. If you want to exist on this side, it's good to have it, but you don't really need it. Because, see, I want you to understand something. This world is not my home, and it's not my final destination. In my lifetime, my preparation is to go, watch this, to where God is, whereby I'm going to live forever. And so if I'm going to spend my time and my energy, I'm going to spend it in a place working with the man who has already made preparations for me, whereby when I leave this place, this won't be my final. Good God Almighty, I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to live again, because I will live again. Why? Because he's died for me, and because he's died for me, he's already taken that which I deserve and gave me what he deserved. I come to let you know, when I expire from this time, from this life, and no longer to be in your presence again, I know a man who's given me the rights to the kingdom of life. Therefore, I don't have to worry about whether or not somebody like me, love me. I don't have to worry about whether I'm rich or whether I'm poor. I don't have to worry about whether I'm healthy or whether I'm not. I just need to know that some glad morning when this life, as my grandmother would say, it's over. See, the thing that we need to understand is that Jesus has already paid it all. I have met a man who has renewed my life forever, and I'll never have to renew it again. See, the thing I want you to understand is I'm going to expire from this side, only to go to the other side. Now, once I get to the other side, there won't be no more hurt, no more pain. There won't be no more sickness. There won't be no more goodbyes. It'll just be howdy, howdy. Y'all ain't hearing what I'm saying. There won't be no more need for the sun. The moon and the sun won't have to illuminate the heavens to give me light, because the glory of God. Woo! See, I have a promise of an upgrade. It doesn't matter how much I like where I live. It doesn't matter how much I like where I worship. It doesn't matter how much I like, good God Almighty, where I work. It doesn't matter how much I like my family. It doesn't matter how much I like my community. It doesn't matter how much I like all the things that God has blessed me on this side. I come to let you know God has promised me an upgrade. And in that upgrade, but good God Almighty, I wish I had a few folk that understood like that. You don't know like I know what the Lord has done for me. You can't tell it, let me tell it, how he's brought me through. Now here's the thing I want to understand is he's given me an upgrade, and my upgrade is I don't have to worry about rent anymore. Why? Because he has a mansion in the sky. I don't have to worry anymore about doctor's bills and insurance anymore. Why? He's given me an upgrade. I don't have to worry anymore about friends and loved ones, good God Almighty, accepting me or rejecting me. Why? He's giving me an upgrade.